So here's the deal. The major focus of this podcast today is we got to figure out some games to play tomorrow. All right. And I get it. You know, I post up a thread. Hey, everyone, please nominate games. And I post up some specific criteria. I think I should review those criteria with you because it was pretty simple. But of course, no one listens because they want to be toxic. All right. You ready? All right. Here we go. Hold on a second. Let's review. I just got a $5 tip, and it says tip of the morning to you, laughing out loud. Well, thank you. That's our first tip of the day. A $5 anonymous tip.
What's the matter? Store wouldn't take your stolen credit card?
Thank you so much for a $5 tip, anonymous tipper. I appreciate that. Happy holidays to you. And OG Mr. Popo also just became a member. Thank you for the membership, OG Mr. Popo. I appreciate that. That is $3 of support. Very good. Okay. Very nice. Good stuff. And Harvey, I'm glad to hear that. I'm glad to hear that people come to my streams. They check out my content. They watch me play a game. And all of a sudden, you're like, hey, you know what? That game looks pretty good. Because the thing is, a lot of the times I miss games. And then people remind me or an opportunity appears and I come back and check something out. I mean, just take a look at some of the games we're playing right now. Like, I had heard of Mega Bonk, but I looked at it. I was like, I don't think it's for me. And then I gave it a shot. And now it's an awesome part of the rotation. You know? What about Arc Raiders that we're playing today as the daytime stream? I mean, that was a game that I completely wrote off because I said, it's one of those extraction shooters and not my cup of tea. Then I try it. And now, through the interactivity and the fun we're having together, we're having a great time. So I'm glad that whenever I check something out, that sometimes it'll turn other people onto those games, and then they'll check them out for themselves. So I'm glad to hear that you're enjoying Harvey. Thank you so much. Okay. All right. So as I was saying, what I want to do is I want to show you guys the thread. Okay. This is the thread that I created over 2 weeks ago here on the channel. You ready? So here it is, and as you can see, here's what I posted up. Any game that is actively available to play on PC or modern console like PS5 Pro, Switch 2, etc. is eligible, but there's a few exceptions. Exception number 1, no MMOs. Exception number 2, no lengthy RPGs where we won't pass the introduction. Exception number 3, no games that will require any emulation to play. And exception number 4, no perverted, sexualized, X-rated games. By the way, I have a typo in there. It's Christmas, for goodness sake. Now, I'll be honest with you. All right. I did forget something. Quite frankly, what I should have also done, I should have put another thing in there that said, exception number 5, no mobile games. All right. And the reason is, a lot of people think, mobile games maybe today are getting bigger and bigger and they're on the table or whatever, right? But sadly, I really don't have the means, I think, to play many mobile games. I've been there, done that. Like last year we did WWE Champions, and it was fun, but it got tired. There's no reason for me to play that again. I should have put that in there, and I'll take the blame for that. I should have been more clear there because there were people who nominated some mobile games, and I'm just not going to be playing those during the Christmas event, all right? But sadly, as you're going to see, we're going to quickly go through the nominations that people came up with, and honestly, I don't think people really understood the spirit of the idea or they were purposefully trolling, all right? Which is why today we're going to actually work together to figure out what games we're playing tomorrow. But allow me to show you what I mean, okay? So, let's scroll all the way to the bottom where we started, okay? Tomba Special Edition. Well, to be honest, I have no idea what Tomba is, all right? But only 7 thumbs up means that not a lot of people really cared for that idea. Bramble the Mountain King. Again, not sure what that is. At least that one got over 10 likes. And the way I saw it was if something got over 10 likes, that was what I was going to consider for the event. So here's what we'll actually do. I will write down a few of these that maybe we'll have to look into, okay? Clover Pit, we already know. We've already played. Didn't really work. Smash Brothers, I mean, the only latest Smash Brothers is on Switch. And I'm not going to be playing that kind of a game, a fighting game, randomly out of nowhere. Sadly, this person put 5 different games into one post. And I actually feel like if they had done 5 separate posts, maybe they would have gotten more thumbs up. But when you post 5 games, let's say someone only wanted Black Mesa. well, then they're probably not going to thumb this up because they don't want to thumb up the other 4 games. So that's something you got to be aware of, is that if you're actually going to nominate a game for a marathon, you should be doing it as a separate post. As you can see, none of these really even got many likes at all. Path of Exile 2 is an insanely long RPG, which is literally in the criteria. It says, do not nominate that, and they did anyway. So that's good. Pizza Tower, we've already played. We actually played this a couple years ago, and it was all right, but it wasn't, like, groundbreakingly good, and people didn't really like it that much, so I'm not going to replay a game we've already done for a marathon. Emperor Ferbs is my moderator, and the reason that he posted those 2 games up is so everyone would thumb it up here, and then we wouldn't have to see 100 posts of that. So purposefully, we knew we're not playing Stellar Blade or Kingdom Come Deliverance 2, so that's why he posted that. I see a lot of people who are saying Dispatch. I'm going to be honest, no, a narrative-based game doesn't work for a marathon. A narrative-based game works if we all collectively decide that I'm going to play it. But for a marathon to get a taste of a game that's a narrative-based game, it doesn't work. I would like, for example, I wouldn't play The Walking Dead. I wouldn't play Guardians of the Galaxy. I wouldn't play Tales from the Borderlands during a marathon. It doesn't work, that style. So maybe I need to clarify that next time too, because honestly, it's been so long since I actually did a narrative-based game like that. It didn't even pop into my mind that people would nominate one. Quite honestly, okay? So again, that's pretty much on me, all right? Half Sword, I don't know what that is. So I'll write that down. We'll have to look into it. I don't know what Half Sword is. Obviously, Fear and Hunger we cannot play because of adult content, and Fire Emblem Engage is a RPG we're not going to play. Code Vein, not only is Code Vein an RPG, it's an RPG that we already played the beta of, no one liked it, and then people only asked me to play it later for sexual content, so I'm not playing it. I don't know what this one is. Nike or Nikkei? Goddess of Victory? I'll give it a look. Never heard of it. This one, even though it only has 8 likes, I think this is a shoo-in. Ball X Pit is a game that came out about a month or 2 ago. It's a Game Pass game. It is an indie game. And a lot of people have said it's just as popular as, say, Megabomb. So maybe that's a good one to give it a look during a marathon like this and see if it's any good for something for the future. Even if it's not good, then that's fine, right? What about Hitman Blood Money? Well, the thing is, we played that last year. If you don't remember, we actually played Hitman Blood Money upscaled during the Christmas marathon last year. And it was fun, but no one actually asked me to go back and play it over the year, which is kind of disappointing, honestly. I thought maybe someone would, but no, it didn't really happen. So I don't think we'll be doing Hitman again this year, honestly, okay? Scrolling through Super Mario Advance, Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. I mean, yeah, but it's probably going to be a terrible game, just like the Grinch game we played a few years ago. Again, I really wish that people would have done separate posts, because when you do this, people are not going to upvote you. Now, here's a problem. Here's one that I would like to do. All right, but we got a problem. Are you ready? Return to Paper Mario and the Thousand Year Door remake. If you don't know, guys, last year, Paper Mario and the Thousand Year Door had a remake. It came out, and I played it during a marathon. I actually played it for about an hour and a half to 2 hours, and I actually really liked it. The problem was that was on the Switch 1. And I don't think you can continue a game that you started on the Switch 1 on the Switch 2, can you? Like, they don't have a game migration or anything. Like, isn't your data stored locally? So there's no way, technically, to take that game save and go from the Switch 1 to the Switch 2. And so because of that, I don't want to replay the whole intro during a marathon. Like, I would play Paper Mario and the Thousand Year Door as an actual playthrough. Like, I like the game. I've always wanted to do a playthrough of it. But I don't think that I want to replay the intro again a second time. So I would say, oh, can you? Okay, Abdullah's saying you can download a save game from Switch 1 to 2. When you boot the game, it tells you. So what you're saying is I have to install Paper Mario and the Thousand Year Door remake on the Switch 2, and then it will prompt me? But how will it get my save off the Switch 1? That's the problem. Like, my Switch 1 is gone. It's in storage. I'm not going to take it out and start migrating files over for tomorrow. So unless there's some kind of a cloud save, it's just not viable. You see? It's a problem with that. It's weird because, for example, Steam, Xbox, everything else is in the cloud. Just not Nintendo. They can't be bothered. So honestly, it's kind of a disappointment. All right? I wish that they were more modernized, but they're just not. Okay? So sadly, yeah, that's not going to happen. Plants vs. Zombies on Steam. I mean, I used to play Plants vs. Zombies a long, long time ago. I don't know if anyone would be interested in me trying Plants vs. Zombies. I like the game. I just don't like. I feel like Plants vs. Zombies is one of those games where it's fun for the player to play on like a mobile device or an iPad or something. I don't see that being a good stream game. Maybe I'm wrong. I mean, you guys let me know. In fact, it got over 10 nominations. I'll put it on there. Hypercharge. Now, this is interesting, and I'm shocked, honestly, that more people didn't actually like want Hypercharged. So Hypercharged is a game that came out last Christmas. It's a game where you play as action figures doing online combat against each other, and it's kind of like Toy Story, all right? I'd be down for that, like Hypercharged Unboxed, but look, like no one nominated it, right? It's kind of sad. I wish I would have liked to play that, but it seems like there's not a lot of interest in it. Let's see here. We already played Coin Game a year ago. That was fun, by the way. It was a great playthrough. We're not doing Cyberpunk again. That's ridiculous. Here's another one, Battlefield 6. That would never fit the criteria of the Christmas Marathon because it's a team-based shooter. I'm not going to have a team to play with. So if I play, I'm going to be jumping in solos. We're going to have, difficulty having any kind of fun. It's just not worth it. See, somebody's got no nominations. Borderlands 4 is all, oh, by the way, can we all admit now? So here we are all these months later, right? Borderlands 4, literally, it's like it never existed. That's interesting because if you remember, before Borderlands 4, there were people who were like hyping it up and so excited for it and kept asking me if I was going to play it. In fact, Game Boy is one of the people who was. And then the game came out, and now no one is talking about the game at all, as if it never released. Didn't get nominated for anything at any awards. Like, it's just a total fart in the wind. Like, damn. Exactly. Mike's Cherry Coke in chat said, Borderlands is still a thing? I know. Borderlands 4. It's supposed to be the big one. I guess it flopped. I mean, I haven't heard anything about sales or anything like that. And when you don't, for supposedly a high-profile release like that, you know what that means. It means it didn't sell. It means, like, no one's talking about it. The only way that I would play Borderlands 4 is if it were, like, super cheap, and it was just like, let's jump in quick and play it for, like, an hour and just do the intro to see what it's like. But I'll tell you right now, it's probably going to be exactly the same as the other ones. It's going to be cringe, So I'll put it on the list, but I don't think it's something that we're actually going to play. Okay? As you can see, most of these nominations got, like, no attention whatsoever. We can't do Final Fantasy Rebirth continuation. We're not going to continue an RPG. I already said that. We're not doing RPGs. Okay? So that's why all these are out, by the way. They're all RPGs. And none of these got any nominations. See what I mean?
Store wouldn't take your stolen credit card.
Thanks, Broadcast. He did a €5 super chat. Let's take a look at this quickly. He says, maybe give Metroid Prime 4 another chance. I mean, why? Why give a game that we all gave our time to, right? We played it for around 4 hours, 4.5 hours. And we were all so bored, including me. We were falling asleep playing it. And I said, no, let's just do anything else. Let's go play something else. So we ended up playing Arc Raiders, right? Why on earth would I want to play that again? And listen, I want you to understand that if you like, it's 588. If you like Metroid Prime 4, that's fine. That's your own personal taste, and I'm not going to sit on here and dump on you for it. But dude, like, we tried it. It didn't work. We were all ridiculously bored. Why would I want to go back and spend time during my Christmas marathon playing that? One of the most underwhelming games of the year, right? So, yeah, I don't think so. I mean, I appreciate the super chat and the suggestion, but I don't think that's going to work. Okay. Let's see here. Blasphemous 2. So, isn't Blasphemous, very similar? Isn't it like a Metroidvania that's difficult and has gothic horror, i.e. it's kind of similar to Hollow Knight? That's what I thought it was, and I'm pretty sure don't I own Blasphemous 1? I think I do. So I wouldn't be against that, but I don't think that that's something that we're going to get too far into during a Christmas marathon, but I would try it. You know what I mean? And let's see here. This is a mobile game, so that's all. And as you can see, we're about to be done with the nominations. We're done. So I think you see my point about this, right? Is sadly, we're in a situation where we just didn't get a lot of good nominations. This is what we came up with, and it's just not a ton to work with. I think what I want to do is I want to look at some of these games and just see, like, I don't know what Bramble the Mountain King is. I don't know what Half Sword is. We'll look at some of these just right now and see what they are. So I got 500 kicks from Dvakin, who says, you are smacking your lips at every sentence. Are you using flavored lip balm? No, I'm not smacking my lips, and I'm not using lip balm. I don't know where you guys are coming up with this. I've listened to my own videos back, like the daily rap and stuff. That's not happening. It must be some new detractor meme. I don't care. So thanks for 500 kicks. Okay. Like, I have literally listened back to my videos. I've listened back to my setup video where I was showing you off my new setup here. I listened back to the daily rap quite a few times in the last week. It's just not happening. You're literally hearing things. There's no smacking sound going on at all. In fact, look, do I look like I'm smacking my lips? If anything, maybe the one time that I do it is maybe if I take a sip of water like this. There you go. See? And then we're done. So nice try. Anyway. So, cool. So here's the thing. Let's look at some of these games. What is this Bramble?